20 gauge, 3 handguns, and a 30-06, and I'll take y'all anytime, kids.
Okay, for the third and fourth question, I'm going to ask Patrick Ruffini and Mindy Finn, the co-founders of Rebuild the Party, to come up and join me to ask the question. Quickly. Mindy, you first. Sure.
Thanks, Grover. Thanks, candidates. Again, I'm from Rebuild the Party. It's been mentioned a few times here today. Rebuild the Party was a 10-point plan launched 2 days after the November election that focuses on reviving the party when it comes to new media and technology, our grassroots structure, the way we message, and the way that we recruit candidates, the type of candidates that we recruit. 5 out of 6 of the candidates on the stage have endorsed the plan, and all have adopted at least some tenet of the plan in their blueprints. The question we have is, what aspect of the 10-point plan or what it's about do you think is most important and why? And what specific structural changes would you make to the RNC related to new media technology?
Sure. A couple different things I liked about your plan. One that truly got me excited is we have to open the door to open box solutions as we reach out to technology. I think the magic of the Obama campaign was that they had open box solutions that allowed developers all over the country to get involved and come up with their own ideas that work better in their neighborhoods and their opportunities, and that's how we're successful. We can't run this thing out of Washington, D.C. It cannot be closed. We've got to have a two-way communication, and I think that's where you hit better than anything. I think right now for some people in our party, technology is how many email addresses you have so they can email talking points and press releases out, and that's one-way communication. And if we're going to be successful, we have to open it up to two-way communication. So that's what I'm most excited about in your plan.
Well, I think I enjoyed meeting with you and talking about this, and recently I enjoyed reading the article where Patrick talks about we don't have to have the dichotomy between messaging and the tools that we use, and I totally agree with that. I think one way that we get there is more open sourcing, and one of the commitments that I have in my second term as RNC chairman is to open up Voter Vault and our different applications so that we can have other people with bright ideas out there help us make better use of the technology that we currently have. And I thank you for helping me come to that conclusion. Secondly, we've got to get our candidates using the technology. We have a lot available. We have the tools available at the RNC, but we've got to have these political consultants willing to put the money in the campaign budgets to spend it to make the difference. We did that in Georgia with Saxby-Chambliss. We sent 79 million different ad impressions to 600,000 Republicans. It made a huge difference. Other candidates can do the same.
What the chairman just spoke of is just one instance at one time when you've got a national campaign underway and you have the pressure of competing interests. The party at the national level has to be prepared to step in and help those states that are not sufficiently organized. This is a state-by-state situation where you have to examine the ability to reach the voters on the ground. Our campaigns are going to be our BlackBerries in the future. That's where they're going to be run from. So you've got to be able to get the format in place, the platforms in place to do that. The state party has the ultimate responsibility to make sure that they're empowered to get on the ground and into those neighborhoods. And the RNC, in my view, has the responsibility to make sure that those resources are made available, pooling together those resources, branding as much of the population as you can, and identify them and give them the tools, and those that need the help, be there for them. It's great to do it in one instance, but doing it over a 50-state strategy at the height of a presidential or national election is very tough. You've got to be smart and quick about it on the front end, not on the back end.
Thank you. Certainly, everybody brings something different to it, and I'm speaking to the 168 members of the National Committee. I was the one who didn't sign the plan. I agree with everything in it except the parameters it had that bound us financially and by quotas in the Republican National Committee of who we recruited for candidates. What excited me about the plan was the fact that we want to put candidates in all 435 congressional districts and focus on the 3,141 counties in America. And the only way we're going to do that as a Republican Party is with the new technology and embrace what we have. But I would caution you, what we'll be using in 2012 is being invented right now. So we as a party are going to have to be flexible and not rigid. Our state parties will embrace it and move forward. But again, it's a grassroots party. That's what brought us to success, and that's what will bring us back to victory.
There's an old saying in budgeting, show me what you budget, and I'll show you what your priority is. I think we're going to have to put money against this, and the one way that we do it is that we establish a goal of integrating the e-campaign with our political department. those two departments acting as silos, disconnected, is foolish. Secondly, I think we should establish a priority by creating the chief technology officer for the RNC, who would be responsible for integrating the RNC with the 50 states and the territories. And then lastly, and I think this is so important, we must commit ourselves to understanding that this is about not just high tech, but high touch. And the way that we do that is by making sure that at the end of the day, we're pushing this technology out to the 50 states and all the counties to get the job done.
Yeah, I think the most important part of this is a function of integrating the plan into the entire system. I think too often we have an e-campaign or a technology section and then and everybody else. And what really has to happen is everybody else has to be part of that. If we're going to enter the 21st century and basically compete with everybody else, I think we have to not only go into two-way communications, but this is going to be a function of networking. I mean, as somebody who actually uses this on a day-to-day basis and has integrated it across the country and across our state, what we've been able to do is basically create networks of people that are working together. I think if you take a look at the successes the Obama campaign had and the Democrats had, is they had organic organizations coming up in states that we never competed in before. So it's nice to talk about the technology, but unless you've actually used it and integrated it on a day-to-day basis and understand what it means, we need this to be part of everything we do, not just a certain section of what we do. And I think the way you do that is make it part of everything that we run as a party, because it will be the best way to network every single grassroots activist who wants to be part of the system.
Thank you. We and the 10,000 plus people on the site really appreciate your responses.